Hello from Bali. This is the podcast Pigeon of Peace where we do discuss awesome skills of troubleshooter. Watch, listen, and check the description below for the details. Let's talk about conspirology and let's start with the definition.
Some people who do not want to learn something about world, about physics, about politics, and some other subjects, they think that everything is connected by conspiracy. It was a very famous case when one man in America came to the pizza house and shot a lot of people because he was thinking that in the cellar, подвал, it's okay to say cellar.
Cellar.
In the
Basement.
cellar, it was conspiracy group led by Hillary Clinton, if I'm not mistaken, which want to kill as many people as possible because there is a theory about one golden billion. Our Earth is not enough for everyone, so we should kill people, and we should understand who is worth to live on this planet, and all other should be cutted because we have not enough food and not enough resources. For example, the same theories about some Jewish lodges that they have plot about the world. They decide where people should live better or worse, where they could dig resources out of the ground, and where they will put very dangerous factories and so on.
And it seems that we were recently speaking about another kind of a thing called phrenology that people, along with other tools, could use this as to fuel whatever they need. They make masses to actually, come up with a certain idea and then come up with a certain actions in order to, maybe please smaller group of people or maybe like wider group of people. But yet, conspirology, whatever in whatever way it will be wrapped, would actually it. So when it comes to, I would say, maybe again I will try to make a leap and step back, like when it comes to the education, because like people would see a lot of information going on them, how to understand that this is might be just like a noise and nothing of this probably not really exists.
It's a very hard question, and we are stepping on the quite thin ice, but let's try. For example, there is several cases which are quite anti-human. For example, this is Jewish genocide, which was made by Nazis during Second World War. Several millions of people were killed because of their nationality. The same was between Turkish people and Greek people, Turkish people and Armenian people, and so on. And this even has a name, genocide. And if we will think what is going on, some people will say it's about religion, and others say it's about resources or territory, and some will be say, okay, this is about conspiracy. For example, if we will talk about sanctions, even right now, which are pressed on the Russian Federation, you will find that some authorities, some banks, some plants, some airports, some institutions are blocked from international trade, but some of them no. For example, several huge companies which produce nuclear fuel, they allowed to sell something in Europe and in America. And I don't remember удобрения, fertilizers, and also people who sell kali fertilizers. It's okay to say kali. Kalium fertilizers, they also are allowed to enter foreign markets. But how it could be? If you have a war, you should avoid any connections, but it doesn't happen. And sometimes you will find, for example, that people will say, even COVID virus, maybe it was made because we don't want to live on the same territory with Chinese or with Russians or with someone else. So scientists, they try to find what was the source of the virus. Maybe it was mistake, maybe it was special made combat virus, but some people are quite sure that it was made to kill people as many as possible. The same also, I don't know how to say, with injections. Some people think that if we will take injection in our arm, we will be chipped and we will be traceable, and this was made, for example, by Bill Gates.
Well, I do believe we're already being traceable long time ago and before that, and not even by the injection. And when we actually, maybe we'll try to do a little brain twist. I'm not sure like how this exercise will go, but let's say someone made us believe like through science, through, like all of the aspects that actually, yes, there might be conspirology, but in fact, there is no conspirology, so that we do believe it doesn't exist, but yet someone or something still could be like, quite sufficient, quite dedicated, not even in their generation, but maybe long generations ago, understanding that building something like this would take like a lot of resources, and still yet they would do this. So let's say, like in minds of those people, how exactly they should be acting in order to cover some things, and what kind of powers of the nature or powers of society or economy could actually prevent or be like a huge block for the so-called conspirologists to go over it and like build their plot.
When I was living in Ukraine, I was pressed a bit because of the Jewish, and also because I was talking on Russian language. And after several years, like 10 years ago, it was become almost impossible to talk in Russian in Ukraine. And I moved to Russia because it was a lot of mottos like beg, train station Russia. So you should go. And this was not made just by Russians, but also to Hungarian people and other people. So somehow Americans, they convince people in Ukraine that they should live alone and their country is just for them. Some time ago, like 15 years ago, the same was in Russia. And it was motto like Russia just for Russians or Moscow just for Russians. But right now we have a lot of people from abroad, from different countries, and we have quite a natural mix, and a lot of people quite happy. If you will see how we consume things, you will find that we drive German cars, we drink Italian wine, and we eat Spanish jamon. So everything is quite connected. But if you try to stay clean, for example, let's our women married just with our nation boys and so on, what will happen? By the way, if you will see to Hawaiian Island, to Greenland, to Iceland, you will notice that some people are quite, I don't know how to say, crippled. It's okay to say crippled.
Crippled.
Crippled. And the reason why, because they have not too many population, and they are long years ago, they are relatives, and this is not good for evolution. So they invite people, and they even pay for men who will come and marry their women, especially in Iceland. The reason is because they have spoiled their genophond. But from other point of view, it was a time when where a lot of people who call themselves like Puritans. So they want to stay clean without strangers, without strangers' cultures, food, and something else. But what we'll see, if we'll see, everyone is right now, people who lived, we are connected because it was a time of huge battles and huge empires. And now we are completely mixed up, and it is very silly to deny that we almost the same. Yes, we have different colors of the skin. Yes, we have different languages. But if you will afraid of someone who is talking on your language, it's quite a mistake. Better to learn the language, better learn traditions. Some nations like Chinese, like Japanese, they are going to live among strangers and they are happy because they have too many people to compete on their land because they overcrowded. But we do not want to go to other countries. We are quite lazy. And this is the reason why we are not so successful. People who trying to conquer land, they became aventurists and they could earn money. The reason why America is so great is because a lot of people from Europe, especially in England, they were trying, smuggling, and going to earn money. So it was a reason, not a leave, but create empires.
Well, I do believe it's already actually quite the answer to my next question, because I also was thinking like how, like we could educate ourselves or maybe empower or weaponize ourselves with the knowledge, skills, or even competition in order to, like fight all of those biases. And conspirology also might be amongst them. So what kind of things we need to observe? What kind of things we need to learn? What kind of things we need to understand about this world in order to understand what is happening? And I do remember one of the things that you mentioned at one of the skills you said, like when something happens, for something do certain actions, you would question yourself, like why he or she did that, and this actually would launch the chain of thought, and then probably one of the possible answers or one of the possibilities would come up. So again, like going back to my question, how we possibly could weaponize ourselves, how we could empower ourselves to fight against it, like get a critical thinking in order to see the signals versus noise.
We live in a capitalistic world, and sometimes we will hear rumors. For example, do not drink zero cola because it contains aspartame and it will spoil your brain. Do not look to shorts or reels in YouTube because you will have a rotten brain. Do not, for example, eat ketchup made by Heinz because they put GMO inside and so on. Yes, okay, it could be truth, but do not look for the world as it is very complex and very dangerous. Sometimes it's just profit. So do not think about bad about people who in power, because they do not need any kind of conspiracy to conquer the world. They already have power, they already have money, and they could do whatever they want. And you sometimes have some portion of freedom, what to eat, what to wear, what to choose. When you try to, for example, carry a bag from Louis Vuitton, you already part of the conspiracy, because this bag, it's cost like $50. But when you have sign or logo on it, it would rise up in the price for 10 times. It's your goodwill to buy it or not.
And we review the skill of conspirology and how it could be helpful for you stay in peace.